price for that plan. So I can help you with that also. So this summary here is a great tool to take home. Take a look at the different services that are listed on the left-hand side, and then up on the top part that gives you each of the different plans that are available. So if you notice there under the Blue Shield HMO, Access HMO, is everybody finding this spot in their new books?
I haven't even got the book out yet.
Okay, it's a gray book, actually. Yeah, it's a new updated book. Yes,
Thank you.
that's mine. Page 14 in the green book. If you have the gray book, I'm not sure what page does it start.
Like 16.
16, please. Okay. So under the Blue Shield Access HMO, you'll notice that there are no deductibles. They have no They have no hospital charges, no emergency charges. They have a $50 copay for an emergency room visit, but if you're admitted, they waive that. And as you go from page to page, it tells you how the services are paid out under the Blue Shield HMO plan. But for the most part, most of us are really interested in taking a look at what the PPO plans and how their design is. So first of all, the first two columns says Per Select on the purple side, and I'm not sure what's on the new book side, but on the right-hand page are the PPO plans. You have Per Select and Per Choice, first of all. They have a $500 calendar deductible per person, not to exceed $1,000 for the family. And then the co-insurance amount is $3,000, not to exceed $6,000 for the family. Your co-insurance amount is 20%. That means that after you've met your deductible, you're responsible for 20% of the contracted rate. And just so that everybody gets this, sometimes we start thinking, well, I'm paying all those premiums, and then I have co-pays and deductibles and co-insurance. Once you're signed up under a health insurance plan, like a preferred provider plan, that means the people that you go to see within that network have contracted to provide services at a greatly reduced rate. For example, I met my deductible last year, and I had a lab bill. And the amount that was billed was like $522, but the contracted rate was $22. So I was responsible for 20% of the contracted rate. So just having insurance, you're saving a lot of money in that sense. Does that make sense? Okay, so if you take a look at Per Select and Per Choice, they look almost identical. They have the same co-pays, they have the same co-insurance, they look exactly really alike. Well, where the difference is that we want to point out to you is Per Select is a more select network. That means for the most part in the state of California, Per Select is about 60% of the PERS Choice network. But in Butte County, it's extremely rich. We're very fortunate in Butte County. If you live possibly in Marysville or Sutter, we'd want to do a little bit more research just to make sure that you have enough providers available for you and the ones that you want in that area. The other place where the plans are different between each other, because if you look at the pricing, there's quite a difference between Per Select and Per Choice. When Anthem Blue Cross went to hospitals and say, you know what, we have this new plan and we want you to negotiate down to these lower contracted rates to the hospitals, some hospitals said, yeah, we'll work with you, we'll go with that plan. And other hospitals said, nope, we feel like we have the monopoly in the situation and we're not going to take that decreased amount. So what that means is they came up with a tiered benefit for hospital facilities. This only applies to the Per Select plan. So if you go to Gridley Biggs, Oroville, Paradise Hospital, those are considered Tier 1 hospitals. And the benefit stays perfect. It says 20/80 split, your co-insurance amount is $3,000. But let's say you choose to use INLO, which is referred to as a Tier 2 facility, and it's not medically deemed necessary that you're using INLO, then your co-insurance doubles there, and your percentage increases to 30%. So what happens is that basically Anthem has said, you know, INLO and Ride-Out aren't willing to negotiate, so we're going to make people afraid to use INLO or Ride-Out. Now, if you live in Chico, you might be like having a panic attack. Well, what if I'm in a car accident in Chico, or what if my kid gets hurt? An emergency is an emergency, and you should go to the facility that's available to you, you need to do that, and that's going to be covered under the normal insurance requirements. But after they get you stabilized, and let's say maybe you're going to need pins put in your hip or leg or something to that effect, you might have to start asking questions. Should I be moved to a Tier 1 facility, or are you going to get an authorization that I shouldn't be moved, I need to stay here? That's kind of some of the language that you're going to need to be having in that situation. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the main way that those plans differ. Excuse me. Something that's, go ahead.
So on the PERS choice, it doesn't matter if you go to Endo or right up?
No, and they're both within the network. Yep. So the benefit would stay the same. Now, something that's kind of happened because of the Affordable Health Care Act and because of the huge migration of employees out of some of the plans, the PERS care plan we used to never talk about because it was so expensive. If you look on the rate sheets, the difference between what it is right now, the rates for the PERS care plan, and the rates that they'll be in 2014, on a family plan it went down $1,000 a month, which is crazy. Well, so I will give you a little bit of information about the PERS care plan. It used to be we didn't even talk about it because it was so expensive. The PERS care plan, the way that it differs a little bit, you still have the $500 deductible, not to exceed $1,000 for the family, but it has only a $2,000 co-insurance amount, and your percentage is only 10% if you're staying within the network. So for some people that might be a great option available. It's a great plan, and it has a huge network available to you. For those individuals that are peace officers or qualify because they're POR Act paying members, your plan's a little bit different where you have a $300 deductible, not to exceed $900 for the family, and your co-insurance is $3,000, $6,000 for a family, and your co-insurance is 10%. So some of you might, once you really start looking at things, you say, how come we can't get POR Act? Well, POR Act is pulling their pull from the entire state, where the rest of us, we're looking at Northern California, and the health conditions that we have in Northern California, we're all paying that price. So it's just kind of a different situation. Yes?
Can you just confirm the Tier 1, Tier 2 is applicable to all? Or
It's
just the select?
only select.
Okay.
Only select. Okay. So let me take a look at my notes, make sure that we covered everything we wanted to at this point. So what we're going to do, there's one other thing I can point to you. On the right-hand side of your folder, there's a little blue sheet that is like this. And this is a plan comparison. So like this is a quick reference to say, now how did that plan break down? And it also mentions the tiers on the bottom so you don't forget about it. But it kind of gives, it's a great reference. I would really kind of recommend kind of putting it in the front of your folder for in the future of what co-pays are and what the deductibles are on the plans in making your decisions. Also on the right-hand side of your folder, we've included a tier hospital network list in case maybe you see some sort of specialist in an outgoing area and you want to know is Mercy a Tier 1 or Tier 2 facility. Like for example, UC Davis is a Tier 1 facility. Just to kind of run down the list and have an idea for Northern California who are Tier 1 and Tier 2 hospitals. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break here. We're going to start back up at 10 to 3. If you have any questions for me and Katie, we'll be happy to answer them for you. And we'll try to get up and started right at 10 till.